Sam Morgan sat alone in the dim glow of the fire, sharpening a small whittling knife against a strip of worn leather. His hands were broad and scarred, moving slow and steady, not rushed. The block of pine resting in his lap had no shape yet. It was just wood, soft under years of use, like time itself waiting to be carved. Sam was not in a hurry. Most days he was not in a hurry for anything anymore. Before Abigail died, he had been different. He used to hum while he worked. Sometimes he laughed for no reason at all. There had been bees around the cabin then, chickens scratching near the coop, and flowers growing in careful rows beside the porch. Abigail loved that little garden more than anything. Wild tulips, prairie roses, blue flax that bent with the wind. After she passed, the garden turned wild. Then winter came. Then nothing came back. Sam never planted again. Outside, the storm was closing in hard. Snow did not fall gently. It came down in thick, steady sheets, covering the land inch by inch. Sam poked the fire once with the iron poker and leaned back in his chair, letting out a long breath. His bones ached, but not from the cold alone. This ache lived deeper, in his chest, where warmth used to be. It was the kind of pain that did not cry out. It simply stayed. He lifted his cup of coffee, already cold, and drank from it out of habit. That was when he heard it. 3 knocks on the door, slow, heavy. Not the wind, not an animal. Then a 4th knock, weaker than the rest. Sam froze. No one came out this way in storms like this. The road was buried under snow taller than a man's chest. He rose slowly, joints stiff, and crossed the room. When he opened the door, the storm rushed in, sharp and white. A woman stood there, swaying slightly on her feet. She wore a coat too big for her, its hem stiff with ice. Her hair was loose, wet with snow, and her face was pale with hunger and cold. Behind her, wrapped together beneath one thin torn quilt, stood 3 small children, no taller than Sam's knee. Their eyes were wide with fear. The woman did not speak. She did not need to. Sam stepped aside. She guided the children in, whispering words too soft to hear. Sam shut the door and bolted it tight against the storm. They stood near the hearth, dripping snow onto the floor. The smallest child clutched a soaked rag doll to her chest, like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Sam added another log to the fire. The room filled with warmth and light. Still, no one spoke. Finally, the woman found her voice. She sounded tired but steady. No horse. We walked 3 days. Wagon wheel broke east of Bitter Ridge. I couldn't carry them all at once. Sam nodded. I'm Rachel, she said. These are mine. Finn, Theo, and Sadie. The boys nodded shyly. Sadie only blinked and held her doll tighter. You lost? Sam asked. No, Rachel said. Left. That one word carried more than a story ever could. Sam did not ask for more. He pointed toward the chairs by the fire. Sit. I'll get something warm. He returned with broth, thin but hot. The children ate fast, quiet, desperate. Rachel watched them instead of touching her own bowl. You should eat, Sam said. I will, she replied, but her eyes never left them. When the children finished, they curled together on the rug and fell asleep almost at once. Sam laid an extra quilt over them. Rachel watched him closely, her guard still up, but softer now. You live alone? She asked. 2 winters now. I'm sorry, Sam shrugged. Storms come. Sometimes they stay. Silence settled between them, but it was not sharp. Rachel finally spoke again, her voice low. I tried to go west, had family waiting. Or so I thought. My husband turned back when food ran low. Said I made my choice coming out here. Sam looked at her then. He left you. In winter. With children. She nodded. Sam poured her fresh coffee and slid it across the table. She held the cup with both hands, letting the heat sink in. You can stay, Sam said quietly, till the road clears. Rachel looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. Thank you. No need. That night the storm raged outside, but inside the cabin the silence felt different. Not empty, just full enough. By morning, the storm was gone. Snow lay smooth and untouched across the land. Inside, the cabin smelled of ash and broth and pine. Rachel woke first. She checked her children one by one, relief softening her face when she saw their cheeks flushed with warmth instead of cold. Sam was already awake, stirring oats over the fire. "You slept," he said. "I tried." The children woke slowly. They washed at the basin without complaint. Sam watched them quietly. These were not children who asked many questions. They had learned better. As the day passed, Rachel moved through the cabin, sweeping, mending, restoring small order where she could. She did not ask permission. She simply helped. Sam noticed the change without comment. Finn found a wooden horse on the mantel, carved long ago and never used. "You make this?" he asked. Sam nodded. "It's good," Finn said, smiling. "You can keep it." That smile stayed with Sam longer than it should have. By evening, the cabin no longer felt like it belonged to one man alone. It held breath again, movement, life. Sam sat by the fire that night, carving once more. The wood in his hands began to take shape, slow and sure. Rachel sat nearby, watching the flames. Outside, the snow rested quiet. Inside, 5 lives shared warmth. And for the first time since Abigail died, Sam felt something shift, not hope. Yet. Just the thought that maybe winter did not take everything forever. The days that followed settled into a quiet rhythm, the kind built not from plans, but from need. Morning fires, simple meals, small tasks that gave shape to hours. Sam rose before dawn as he always had, but now the cabin did not stay asleep behind him. Rachel moved softly too, careful not to wake the children, though she often found Sam already stirring oats or slicing bread. The snow began to soften. Not everywhere at once, just at the edges, near the well first, then along the eaves of the cabin where icicles dripped slow and steady. The land did not wake with joy, only patience. Sam noticed it in the way the door no longer stuck, and in the smell of damp earth that replaced the sharp bite of ice. Inside, change came faster. The children grew louder, not wild but sure. Finn followed Sam everywhere, asking questions about tools, trees, and firewood. Theo sat by the window most days, drawing with charcoal on scraps of paper Rachel saved. Sadie stayed close to her mother, humming softly, the rag doll never far from her arms. Rachel took over the cooking without asking. The meals stayed simple, but they carried warmth that had nothing to do with fire. Sam found himself eating slower, not because he was full, but because he did not want the moment to end. One afternoon, Sam returned from the barn to find the floor swept, his old shirt mended at the cuff, and wet socks drying by the hearth. "You didn't have to," he said. "I know," Rachel replied, "but it helps me feel useful." "You already are." She paused at that, then nodded once. That evening, Sam spoke the question he had been holding. "You planning to go when the road clears?" Rachel's hands kept stitching.
I don't know.
"There's nowhere left that expects us. There's work in town. Mrs. Webb could use help come spring." Rachel looked up surprised not by the offer, but by the way he said it. Like it was simple, like she belonged somewhere again. That night, Theo woke with fever. He whimpered in his sleep, breath shallow and hot. Rachel held him close, fear sharp in her eyes. Sam fetched water, cloths, herbs he kept from old knowledge. He stayed beside her through the night without a word. Theo's fever broke before dawn. Rachel leaned against Sam's shoulder, exhausted. He did not move away. Spring crept closer. The creek murmured beneath thinning ice. Birds returned, few at first, then more. Sam carved again, not to pass time, but for the children. Deer, owls, a fox that seemed almost alive. Finn watched every move, copying him with scrap wood and a dull blade. "I'm making a bear," Finn said proudly. "You'll need patience." "I got patience," the boy replied. Sadie asked for a butterfly. Sam carved it slow, careful. "What do butterflies mean?" she asked. "They mean change," Sam said. "From something that crawls to something that flies." Sadie nodded. "Mama says we changed. She says we're family now." Sam smiled. Rachel changed too, though quieter. Her smile came easier. Her eyes lingered longer. She still carried fear, but it no longer ruled her. One afternoon, dust rose on the southern trail. Sam saw the rider first. One man. Sharp movements. Too clean for the land he rode through. Rachel froze when she saw him dismount. "Rachel," the man said, smiling thin. "Found you." Sam stepped forward. "Who are you, Randall Byrne?" the man said. "Her husband." Rachel's jaw tightened. "You left us," she said, "in winter." "Mistakes happen," Randall replied, "but those are my children." "You're not welcome here," Sam said. Randall laughed. "Law might say otherwise." He left with a promise that hung heavy in the air. That night silence returned, but it was heavy now. "He'll come back," Rachel said, "with papers." Sam nodded. "Then we'll stand." "I won't trade one prison for another," she said. "I'm not offering that," Sam replied, "just not leaving you alone." The next day, Randall returned with a sheriff and papers in hand. The law favored his claim. Rachel's knees nearly gave out. Then voices rose. Mrs. Webb, Doc Hadley, the pastor, neighbors who had seen the truth. The sheriff hesitated. Finally, he backed down. "This goes to court." Randall left angry, but not defeated. That night, Sam carved a small wooden ring and placed it quietly in Rachel's hand. "It's not a promise," he said. "Just proof I believe in something lasting." Rachel held it like it might break. "I'm afraid," she said. "So am I," Sam replied. "But fear isn't all we are." Outside, the wind softened. Inside, something steadier took root. The storm was not over, but they were no longer facing it alone. The final snow came late that spring, quiet and gentle, like an old memory returning when no one expected it. It dusted the hills in white, resting only long enough to remind the land that winter never leaves without looking back. Rachel stood by the window watching it fall over the garden patch where small green shoots had just begun to push through the soil. She wore one of Sam's shirts, the sleeves too long, the fabric warm. It did not belong to her, but it felt right on her shoulders. Behind her, the cabin was alive with sound. Finn and Theo argued softly over who would feed the chickens. Sadie hummed to her doll while braiding its yarn hair. Sam sat at the table, carving a small bird from ashwood, his movements calm, practiced. He looked up once and caught Rachel's reflection in the glass. She did not turn, but she knew. Then came the sound of hooves. Not one horse this time. Several. Sam was on his feet at once. Rachel's hand froze on the window frame. Outside, Randall Byrne dismounted slowly, wearing a new coat, too clean, too sharp. 2 men followed him. One carried a case. The other wore the mark of a judge. "This time," Randall said, smiling, "I came prepared." The man with the case opened it and read from a document. "By order of the Circuit Court, custody of the children is granted to Randall Byrne pending further review." Rachel stepped forward, her voice steady though her hand shook. "He left us to die." "The law recognizes blood," the judge replied, "not kindness." Sam moved beside her. "Then we'll take it to open court, with witnesses." Randall scoffed, but the judge hesitated. Delay was granted. 3 days. Those 3 days were long. The town showed up, quietly, fully. Mrs. Webb, Doc Hadley. Neighbors who had seen Rachel work, seen Sam care, seen the children heal. The courtroom was small but full. Rachel spoke once, clear. Honest. Sam spoke once. Simple. True. The judge listened. When the ruling came, it landed soft but firm. Custody granted to Rachel. Permanent. Randall dismissed. Outside, sunlight broke through cloud. Rachel knelt and held her children close. Then she turned to Sam. She held out the wooden ring. "I don't see rescue when I look at you," she said. I see home." Sam did not speak. He pulled her close, and she let him. That night, the cabin glowed warm against the dark. The cradle Sam had carved stood near the hearth, rocking gently in the breeze. The children slept easy. Outside, the last snow melted into earth ready to grow. Love did not arrive loud. It arrived steady, and it stayed.